Now let's talk about the do nots. It's important for us to keep in mind on what we shouldn't be saying. So the first thing that we are telling you all not to do is do not ask people if they are homeless.
Whenever approaching a tough situation, do not forget to talk to a person individually and not to target the person. Just ask, "Hey, do you have a quick second?" Or "May I please talk to you?" Once you are alone with the student, start out by making them feel comfortable. Start the conversation with a simple "How are you?" and make some small talk to warm up the person. From there, ask about which resources they have access to and mention all of the resources available to them. If you need guidance on which resources to mention, please refer to the CU Denver Survival Guide. There are computer labs for printing, the food pantry, and a lot of additional resources all over Denver if you ever want to use that. Maybe there even mention that there are resources for every possible situation if you go through the different sections, and maybe even mention the Denver Resources section. If you would like to talk through any of the resources, we have plenty of older, more experienced pals for that very reason. The next section, number 2, is do not think you know what is best.
Don't ask individuals things like, "Why don't you get help? Why don't you go to shelter? Why don't you get a job?" Asking these questions puts the blame on the individual when in fact, homelessness is based on a systematic classism. This systematic discrimination creates many endless barriers to overcoming homelessness, and one should never judge anyone who is taking steps, however big or small, towards their goals. Additionally, remember that someone may not want to go to shelter, because sometimes shelters are worse than the streets.
Number 3, do not have a single image of homelessness. There are so many different situations that can lead people to homelessness, so don't assume that they are homeless because of a single reason. Remember that there are a million reasons and many complex factors that goes into any situation. We do not need to know and pry for all the details, but rather we should wait for the stories to be told to us. If somebody does disclose their homelessness situation with you, don't assume that they need to look a certain way to truly be homeless. The last thing to remember is that homelessness can happen for different lengths of time and to anybody. Overall, everyone has different circumstances and situations that they go through, so it is best to leave our judgments and biases at the door.
Don't take on the struggle of others. If somebody in your class shares with you that they are struggling with food or housing insecurity, do not think that you have to save, fix, or dedicate massive amounts of time to them. For empathetic people, this can be difficult, as it is easy to let others' struggles impact your own life. Check in with yourself and know when you need to take a step back for yourself. You don't want to wear yourself down so much that you are unable to help anybody. So please participate in the self-care activity that works best for you. You may like to pet a furry friend, work out, paint your nails, or take a nap. Whatever your self-care routine is, remember to take care of yourself before you take care of others.
Don't lose sight of your role. You are not a case manager, a therapist, or a trained professional. You are a pal. Don't dive into roles that you are not, but be supportive and ask, "How can I help?"
Number 6, don't make assumptions about your students' situations.
It is never easy to notice a student experiencing homelessness since individuals will most likely not share this identity at first. Don't assume your students have stable housing. Be forthcoming that you can provide campus and community resources for housing and/or food instability. None of your students will come to you if they don't know you have resources to recommend. Also, don't forget your CU Denver Student Handbook, and a great place to present this would be the first day of your FYE class.